Market is overvalued, but is it really? Hello Adrian, and welcome back once again to another episode of the Dang Oracle. It's 7:30 p.m. and we are at UTC +8 time zone, and welcome wherever you are looking at and wherever you are watching around the world. Hope everything is you guys are all doing well on this beautiful Wednesday midweek. We are midweek, and yes, we are still working because it's only the middle of the week. So let's take a look if our hardcore crew is here. Hi Nikolai, hi Alvin, hi Tina, hi Henry, hi Darway. How's everybody doing here? Hi Moncol, hi Steven. Yes, the hardcore crew is here. So let's take a look on some COVID numbers before we move into our Bitcoin analysis for today. Let's check up on some numbers. Oops, that's a loud noise. Let's turn the music out, sound down. Hi Gil, hi Cedric. Up. So United States, we are over 2.1 million. Brazil is nearing very near now 1 million cases, and that's a big problem. Russia over the 500,000 right now. India nearing the 400,000, so also a very big problem over there. Let's take a look on the charts on how things look. Boom. Chart is confirming, Hilex is confirming that we are over 8 million confirmed cases right now, and yes, still no topping or still no flattening of the curve or anything like that, so not good. US still going up, Brazil still going up, Russia still going up, India still going up, Spain and Italy, the European countries, are slowly leveling down. Let's put it like that. It's like still increasing, but not as quickly as the other countries, well, at least in our top 6. Hi Darren, hope everybody's doing well. So before we go into the analysis of where we left off yesterday, nothing that spectacular happened yesterday, but there's a couple of things that did happen and that we want to be confirming and going on to. Well, one thing that I do want to explain a little bit is valuation of a network, right? So we've spoken this in more detail before, the Metcalfe law. Basically, the reason why we can value a certain specific network is by the confirmed amount of user cases, right? The more people, well, the logic behind this is the more people that are using the network, the more popular or the more valuable the network is, according to the price, right? And if we are looking, quick look, if you want to see the whole details on Metcalfe's law or how it's being calculated and this and that and more explanations about it, please do watch one of my previous videos about Metcalfe's law. It's somewhere in the videos section. I have quite a lot of videos now because we have been doing this for a little bit over a month. So there are, I think, 40 or 45 videos now already in the video section. Take advantage of it. Go take a look of all the bullshit that we've spoken about in the past. And you can actually, like I said, this is more like a sort of like a diary to see how things are going. Has it been going good? Has it been going bad? And so on, right? It's like a diary. Anyways, so Metcalfe's is one of the ways we can check the valuation of the Bitcoin network. And I've spoken to you about this before. And as we can see right now, Metcalfe's law is saying that the Bitcoin. Oh, it's very blur on your sharing screen. Oh, that is weird. I didn't change anything, so maybe it is your internet connection that is currently a little bit on the slow end. But other than that, I haven't changed any settings or anything like that, so I have no idea. Maybe I should zoom it in a little bit. Maybe I put it on 200. Okay. Maybe this is a little bit better. I don't know. Hi, Jay Constant. So, that's a little bit annoying. That's a little bit too big. I'll put it on, yeah, here. Metcalfe's law, as we can see right now, if we are looking at the Bitcoin fair price on Metcalfe's law on the DAA, there's a purple line and a green line, but we're looking mainly at the green line because that's where I take most of the reasonable price at, and we can clearly see that right now the price is above the green line. So currently it basically says that the network is overvalued if we are taking in consideration the amount of users that are currently using Bitcoin right now. And I think that's kind of normal because although there's a lot of hype and this and that, I do believe that the network in itself, Bitcoin itself, there's not enough adoption right now, and that's the reason why the fair value of, according to Metcalfe's calculation, is still overvalued right now. So for Bitcoin, according to Metcalfe's law, it is overvalued right now. So just putting that in mind. Another way we can see the value of a network is, for example, through this algorithm that Bytree is using. So refresh it there. Will stocks go higher today? Most likely, yeah. Looks pretty bullish to me. Looks pretty bullish to me. Everything looks quite bullish to me, to be honest. So there we have a Bytree. And we can clearly see that the fair value right now is at 40% premium, and we can see it maybe better on the chart, and then you can see it more clearly or more graphically, as you can see here. Let's zoom in a little bit on this side here. There we go. And as we can see here, the Bytree fair value right now is at 7,134. Once again, that basically indicates that technically, using this algo from Bytree that is basically using on-chain mechanics, it basically says that we are currently overpriced as well in terms of the fair value. So the price should be around 7,141, and I think that once again shows that we are still not there in terms of like adoption or anything like that, right? And I hope that a lot of people, although there's a lot of interest, we are a really small market just now. I mean, there's very little adoption right now, and there's plenty of reasons for that, right? For example, the speed, for example, the interface UI, the user friendly or not, and something like that. It's that code, that people, that address, that BTC address, that wallet system. It's really too complicated and too difficult for most people, right? So, hi Clark. So, in terms of like on-chain analysis, in terms of like adoption and so on, the price is overvalued in terms of using for people that are using the network, and I kind of agree with that as well, right? But of course the market decides the price, not us, right? But we have to just put that a little bit into perspective when we are thinking about invest as an investment in Bitcoin for the long run. Let's put it like that. But we can use these tools for like long-term analysis or long-term investments. So that's the reason why I'm showing these tools. But other than that, so the main question or the main topic for today is, of course, well, don't we have some sort of system where we can evaluate what the stock market is, like what the S&P is? The stock market or the S&P overvalued or undervalued in comparison with the economy? Because that's a question that a lot of people are asking, because they are all saying like, oh my God, the economy is crashing, but the stock market keeps going up. isn't the stock market overvalued right now? That's basically the main question that everybody's asking. Is the stock market overvalued? Well, I'm going to show you one of the ways that you can actually see if the stock market is yes or no overvalued or not, and that's the Brock value. So maybe I'll zoom this in a little bit higher. So what's the Brock value? The Brock value is actually what is the market worth. It's a valuation metric with just two inputs: the GDP, the gross domestic product of a country. In this case, of course, we are looking at the S&P, so from the US, and the interest rate. And that is why it is so important that you have to put in consideration that since the last 10 years, the interest rate, the FED has kept on cutting the interest rate down. And by doing that, it actually pushes the value of the S&P or the stock price up. And that's something that a lot of people don't understand as well, right? So we can take a look at all the math and this and that, but the most important thing is basically just to be looking at the chart, right? So this is the Brock value, if you can see right here on the daily and the log scale. And wait, maybe I click on it, it will zoom out a little bit. Yep, perfect. So if we can see, the S&P price is here, is the yellow line, that's the S&P line, and the Brock value is basically the white line, as we can see here. And as we can see, since 2016, price was still below the Brock value. The only time that the Brock value was below was between 2018 and 2019. So basically, during that period, it was considered overvalued, right? So price did crash down, as we can see here, during that period when it was considered overvalued in terms of the Brock value. And what do we see here? The Brock value is dumping here, and we had that major crash that was very, everybody knows about that major crash in March. And what do we see right now? Because that's the main thing, right? And as we can see right now, even though we are making this V-shaped correction, as we can see here, this V-shaped correction, we are still way below, and there's actually some divergence ongoing with the Brock value. Meaning, for people who are saying that is the stock market is the stock market overvalued? Well, if we are using the Brock value, if we are using that algorithm of the Brock value, no, we can clearly see that the stock market is not overvalued at all. It's actually undervalued right now in comparison with the Brock value. So what does that mean? Well, that's what I've been telling people for the past couple of month that I've been streaming, right? You have to be able to be disconnecting yourself from the economy, because the stock market is really just a commodity. It's just a commodity, and it has nothing. It has no correlation, or very little correlation with the economy. And this is once again what the Brock value is saying, because it is taking in consideration the GDP, which is a very slow economic number, but it takes in consideration the interest rate, and that is where most of the people are basing their purchase or their psychology on, right? So since the interest rates keeps getting cut, and there's even talks that we are going to go to negative interest rates, so that's going to be pushing the price of the stock market even the value of the stocks even up higher. So as long as we see that the Brock value is way higher than the S&P value, the actual S&P value, yes, nothing I can say. I expect that the price is still gonna go up. That's basically what I'm trying to say. We can look at this as also in a valuation bond. So the yellow line once again is the S&P. The Brock value is the white line, as we can see. And when it's overpriced, we see the red line, and when it's underpriced, it is the green line. And as we can see right now, the S&P is, of course, I hope you can see it. Yeah, you can see it. The white line is still above the yellow line. So like I said, still undervalued. And as we can see right here, the yellow line is actually touched for a brief moment the underpriced green line. So it actually touched the the lower band of the Brock value. So I think that's very, very important. Hi Alto, hi Michael, hi Clark. So I think that is a very important signal, and something that you have to understand. So we actually touched the bottom of the Brock value lower band, not the top band just yet. So like I said, this I'm pretty confident that the stock market is still gonna keep going up, because as you can see right now, the S&P is still undervalued in comparison with the Brock value. So if we have something to monitor, or something to look at, as long as we are trending below the Brock value, I kind of am confident that the stock prices are still gonna go up. That's basically how it is. And until I see some big movements in terms of like crashing below the green line or the underpriced line, I really have, like I said, the FED is going to do everything that they can to be pushing the price upwards rather than downwards. So for all the people who are thinking like, wow, the stock prices are overvalued right now, well, this is a counter argument. And I still, like I said, and I've said it for a pretty long time now, I think that we will most likely will be reaching all-time highs on S&P on a pretty soon basis. We've already gotten there with Nasdaq, and to move back into Nasdaq, we can see it here. If we take a look on the daily chart, this was the previous all-time high on the 18th of February, as we can see, in 2020, and then we broke it here on the 10th of June, right? So we crashed all the way down here, and we made a full recovery all the way up here, and we made a small correction, but as you can see right now, we are above 10,000 once again on the Nasdaq futures. And if we are looking on the short time, like I said, this bounce was perfect. Just retraced towards the EMA 200 on the 4-hour chart, and then up we go. So when you see this on traditional market, and definitely on Nasdaq, because Nasdaq has been a leading indicator, leading chart for basically everything else. So I can't be bearish on Bitcoin as well, because like I said, some of the money that the FED is printing is also going into Bitcoin. So yeah, if the traditional markets keep going up, and there is still plenty of space to be going up, as you can see, we are still below, way below the Brock value. So yeah, I think I mean, that doesn't mean that we won't have like some major corrections or major pullbacks, right? I mean, I'm talking about the macro perspective, of course, where we are talking about on on a weekly chart, that we will just keep doing like this, like up, small corrections, up, small corrections, up. Yeah, that's basically what I'm expecting for the next couple of months. And that's a little bit crazy, but yeah, while the economy is doing badly, where people are unemployed, like I said, the FED is doing everything that they can. They are pumping so much money into it, they are buying so much into it, and those effects will of course, they can't keep doing that. Well, they kind of can keep doing it, but that at one point they will completely devaluate their own currency, right? So that's when things get very nasty, but they still have plenty of space. So like I said, Nasdaq most likely is gonna keep pushing up. Let's take a look on the S&P. So S&P did very similar like the Nasdaq. As we can see here, we went down here during the March crash, and then we broke back up, but we did not break all-time high just yet. So just for fun, I'll put the all-time high horizontal line here. But yeah, if Nasdaq is a leading indicator, like I said, most likely the S&P is going to be doing the same. So this is a small pullback, as you can see, beautiful on the EMA 55 or the EMA 200 on the daily, and pushing back up, and once again above the EMA 21 on the daily once again. So I expect a continuation, and let's take a look on the 4-hour chart. Yeah, 4-hour closed above all the moving averages. This looks like a reversal, and this looks like a continuation to me. So if that is the case for S&P, what do you think it's going to be happening on Bitcoin? Well, Cedric, that's what you that's, I don't know if you know, how do you know that Buffett is shorting the market? I mean, how do you know? Where do you get that info? I'm not really sure that he's shorting the market. He sold off a lot of like airplane stocks and stuff like that, and banking stocks. But have you seen, banking stocks are not doing well. Airplane stocks are not doing well. So, you know, and I told you, he believes in a macro perspective, right? So he's talking about 3, 4, 5, 6 years, something like that. And I've explained the issue with airplane stocks already. Problem is, as long as we don't have a cure and social distancing measures are being placed, and if those measures are being placed on airplanes, an airplane company can never be profitable. That's the problem. And that's the reason why Buffett has incorporated and incalculated that risk, and he didn't want to take that risk. That's plain and simple. He didn't want to take that risk, so he sold off some of his airplane stocks. Same for banking. Banking, people are going to be the FAD cut the rates into 0%. Where are banks going to make their money from? From lending money to people? No, the rates are 0. Like, you know, have you seen the prices from bank stocks? Been completely shattered and crashing. So he's just rebalancing his portfolio, which is a smart thing to do in this time and age, because I'm pretty sure what he's doing is pushing very heavy on tech stocks and the other, because those are the ones that are going. So he's just repositioning his portfolio. I'm not really sure that he's shorting the market. I don't think that he's doing that. And if he's doing that, well, good luck to him. Let's put it like that. Good luck to him, because yeah, this looks like I said, this looks like the like it's going to be keep pushing up, and it's going to be a while before this stops. And that's one of the reasons why I am more tending towards a positive break for our beloved Bitcoin as well, right? So let's take a look on what happened what we've been talking about yesterday. Well, yesterday I've said, like, yeah, we're just waiting for this pattern to be resolving, basically above this green box that we've spoken about. But at one point, I do believe this is going to be breaking up towards this second green box that I'm expecting. So pretty much sideways in terms of like what we have discussed about yesterday. Is it possible that we still make a little bit move to the downside? Yeah, it's still possible. So constant, I'm still waiting for a little bit of a retracement as well. I'll show you in a little bit on the short term what I'm looking at, or where do I think might be a good idea to be entering the market. I still have my position open, well, a small position, about 20% open from 8,925. So that is running, because I'm quite more and more confident that we will be breaking this zone here and moving towards at least at minimum this green box once again here around the 9.8 9.9k area, to be honest. So let's take a look first on the what we've spoken about on the macro perspective from yesterday, right? So let's take a look on the weekly chart first. This is the weekly chart. As we can see, beautiful bounce off the simple moving average. Stokes are still curling towards the upside, which is very, very positive. Of course, RSI is still above the EMA, which is of course very, very positive. And the EMA is only going to be crossing down below 9,100, which makes total sense as well, right? We've told you guys, well, I've told you guys, if we are going to be breaking and below and confirming a weekly chart below the EMA 55 here on the daily, you can clearly see 9,095. We will be creating a lower low, and this structure of keep forming higher lows is going to be broken, right? So that's the reason why our RSI here cross down is saying 9,084.5 or 9,085 on the as you can see on the daily chart is the EMA 55. So let's take a look on the 3-day. So yesterday the 3-day chart closed and the 2-day chart closed as well. And what did I tell you guys? The most important things is, do we close above this? So this is the candle. Don't look at this candle. Look at this candle. This is the candle where we closed. And as you can see right here, we closed way above the EMA 21. But I was telling you guys, are we going to be closing above the 10 simple moving average? Yes or no? If we close above the 10 simple moving average, I would instantly, not even hesitate. I'll just click long, and most likely we'll be heading immediately towards the 9.7, 9.8K area immediately afterwards. But as you can see, we did not close above the 10 simple moving average. But if you look at this candle, you can't be bearish about this candle. Very long, strong wick on the bottom side, very strong, ended in green. So continuation is most likely of the trend, right? That's what this candle is saying. Even though that we got rejected from the 10 simple moving average, this just means we will get a small consolidation, and that is what is happening right now. A small consolidation towards the downside. Most likely where I'm looking at is this green line that I've pushed here, which is around 9,350-ish, 9,300 area that I'm looking at to be re-entering a long position actually, because that's usually what happens after a push, right? So on the 2-day chart, exactly the same thing that I've spoken to you about yesterday. Do we close above the 10 simple? We have to look at this candle, not this candle, this candle. Do we close above the EMA 21? We did close above the EMA 21. Do we close above the 10 simple moving average? We did not close above the 10 simple moving average. But once again, we can clearly see very long wick to the top side, pretty strong green body. Looks pretty good to me, all right? And then the next candle, what we're having right now, is a small pullback consolidation candle, but like I said, no issue at all, of course, and a small pullback. And I do believe that by tomorrow we most likely will have broken that level. At least that's what I'm expecting on the price action in the next couple of days. And if we are looking on the S&P, we can clearly see that exactly the same thing happens, right? I'll show you on the S&P on the daily. We can clearly see here, this is the daily candle where it was closed. Did we close above the EMA 21? Yes, we closed above the EMA 21. Did we close above the simple 10 moving average? No, we did not. As we can see, we got rejected from the 10 simple moving average. So the S&P candle and the Bitcoin candle, but on the 2-day and the 3-day, is exactly the same formation. Very bullish on the traditional market and on the Bitcoin market. So like I said, can't be too bearish about it as well. So let's take a look on a little bit more on the short term. So like I've said, this is forming some sort of like a bull flag, bull pennant, and we can clearly see that as well on the RSI. And I really like to draw patterns. I prefer to draw patterns on the RSI than on the price actually, because I believe patterns on RSI make more sense or work out a lot better than patterns on the price action. And as you can see, this is what I'm seeing. We have some sort of a bull flag that is being formed. This is currently curling down a little bit, so I'm still hoping that we wick down to like 9,350 or something like that, and then we break up from here like this. And if we are taking a look on the price action itself, we can put this on the line chart, and then we can take a Fibonacci level from this point to this point, as you can see here. Wait, maybe I'll put it a little bit on the sides so you can see it more clearly. And we can see here the 0.5 FIB level is 9,337.5. So yeah, 9,350-ish. It also matches the EMA 200 or the purple line here, which is currently at 9,345. So that's kind of the area that I'm looking at. If we wick down even lower, then we can take a look at the golden FIB ratio. But I highly doubt it that we will get there, because we have a very strong VWAP ratio, VWAP support there. So if we get a pullback, that's where I'm hoping that we can enter. But if not, well, if not, then we didn't manage to enter, right? But that's where I'm thinking that the price might get a wick down, hopefully in the next 4 hours. So something like this, and then we form some sort of like a bull flag like this, right? Chup, 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 chup. And then we break up towards the top side. But it can also form a bullish pennant instead of a flag, right? Then we have something like this. Like this, something like this, and then in the next couple of like hours, maybe something like that, and we break immediately up or down, because it's a but the probabilities are obviously higher that it's going to the upside, because this is like a bullish pennant, right? So the probabilities are higher that we are going to the upside rather than the downside. But yeah, that's basically the two movements that we can expect in the next day or so, something like that. But obviously I think that more probability is higher to the top side than the downside. So where is this going to be confirming? So I'm just waiting it out right now and see if we manage to form some sort of like a bull flag towards the downside, and then enter around this area here. That will be my main plan. But if my main plan doesn't work out, I'll just wait until we break above the 9.6K here. This here, their previous high. If we break above 9.6K, I'll just enter along as well from there and aim for the top side as well. Most likely 9.8, 9.9K, somewhere around there is. I don't think we will be resolving the whole structure. It's more like a short pump of like $200-300, I think, for the next day or something like that, either to the top side or to downside. So those are the two positions, or those are the two things that I'm waiting for right now. So either enter around here if we get that wick towards the downside, or just a breakout of the 9.6K towards the top side of the previous price, basically. So that's what I'm waiting for. Either one of those two scenarios to be happening. But yeah, let's see what this flag is forming. If this flag immediately breaks up, then yeah, most likely have to be immediately going in. Like that. But right now, like I said, I'm just waiting it out. I just there's no need to be rushing or anything like that. So I'm just waiting it out to see what the market wants to do, because the market will show you the direction and the way. It's up to you to be basically waiting for the right moment and acting appropriately, rather than guessing what and being 100% sure that is the case, of that is what the price is going to be doing. that's first of all, that's impossible to do, but yeah, some people still try to do that. So anyways, those are the two short-term scenarios that I'm waiting for. And other than that, of course, we have our bearish scenarios, right? So be very aware that the bearish scenario is still there. So if we are going to be breaking below close a candle below this area here, below the 9,250, I'll be switching it into a short, because then most likely we'll be heading towards this area, or this green box to the downside right here, around back into around the 8.6K area. So let's see what Bitcoin wants to do, right? But of course, I'm still favoring or aiming towards the top side rather than the downside, because the trend is our friend until the trend is no longer our friend, because the trend is then reversed. But like I said, this is a falling channel. RSI is forming a falling channel, as you can see on the daily as well. More probability that it's going to be breaking to the upside than the downside, but of course what it can do is always take a breather to the downside first and then go up afterwards, right? So don't want to be missing out in both scenarios. So just be patient and just wait it out and see what price actions wants to be doing. But right now, obviously, yeah, more favoring towards the top side than the downside, of course. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. So yeah. Oh yeah, the 4-hour just closed just now, right? Yes, the 4-hour just closed just now. So let's see what happened. So the 4-hour candle closed above the green box once again, above the EMA 21, which is really good, but below the EMA 55, and we got a small little push to the upside. Yeah, nothing much to be raving about or anything like that. Let's take a look on our expected move charts. Well, pretty much the same ranges that we've spoken before as yesterday. So like 9,750 on the top side and 9,000, let's say 9,300 on the bottom side. Take a look on expected moves, and here we got it. Expected moves, first standard deviation to the top side is 9,650, and first standard deviation to the bottom side is 9,311. So as we can see, if we go back to 9,300-ish area, that would be perfect. That would be hitting my my entry zone on this area here, when we would be hitting here this FIP level or the EMA 200. If we can wick down there, I'll be very happy to be entering my long. So if the expected move chart is correct on the downside, I'll be happy. If the expected move chart is right on the top side, and we go above the 9.6k, what the expected move chart on the first standard deviation is saying, I'll be happy as well, because then we'll be breaking the 9.6k, and then I'll be clicking long either way, because yeah, most likely we will see continuation of our trend for like at least another $200 or something like that. I'll be fine with scalping that as well, and closing my 20% that I still have open from 8,925. So that's pretty valuable at that point as well, right? So, but as we can see right here, we are angling a little bit more towards the top side. So that means probabilities that we are going up is higher than that we are going down. Let's take a look on the Stokes on the 12-hour, curling up. Trend is our friend. Trend is our friend and curling up. So what can I say? If the 12-hour Stokes are curling up, gotta buy it. Our RSI is currently above the EMA as well, and as you can see here, right here, it will be crossing down if we are breaking 9,444. So that's a number that we can be looking at. So if we are breaking below 9,450, most likely we'll get a little bit of a push down towards, and hopefully around the 9.3k, so I can enter my position. That would be good. Let's take a look on the daily chart. Daily chart here. As we can see, this is the big change. The Stokes are curling to the upside. I can move this trend a little bit like this. It looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. So if we are crossing here, and if we are confirming this Stoke confirmation has to by tomorrow, right? Has to by tomorrow. If we can confirm this one, that would be super good. But it's angling towards the top side once again. Let's take a look on the RSI. Boom, boom. RSI is still below the EMA right now, but it will be crossing up above 9,550. So if tomorrow the daily is above 9,550, I'll be clicking long as well. So no need to wait for 9,600. If tomorrow's daily close is above 9,550, you know what to do. At least I know what I'm gonna do. So yeah, HVP is flashing red right now. So, but yeah, we've spoken about that already. It kind of has to happen for the bulls this week, or else the momentum and the Stokes on the longer term, on the 3-day, on the 2-day, and the weekly bearish divergence. For the people who didn't watch my previous streams, please look at it. There's weekly bearish divergence, potential weekly bearish divergence, if we don't create a higher high on the weekly chart. So that means if this week confirms a lower high, then the bearish divergence on the weekly will be confirmed, and that will mean a catalyst, a catastrophe. It will be very negative, and then next week most likely will be retracing hardcore. So then we'll be talking about, that major $1,000 drop, $2,000 drop maybe, towards around 7,500 is where I'm expecting, if that weekly bearish divergence is coming through. But that weekly bearish divergence is going to be completely negated if we are creating a higher high on this week. So the bulls, this is the week. You have to make a higher high this week and push it up towards to negate that bearish divergence on the weekly, or else it is over. It's game over for the bulls. So that's the reason why this HVP is flashing right now. We will have major volatility this week. And it's this week where the big move is going to be happening. At least the big move that is going to be setting up the major trend for the coming month, right? For the end of this month. So what I'm thinking is most likely we'll head towards that 10.4 or 10.5K. That will set the tone for the bulls this coming week, and then afterwards, the week after, most likely breakthrough towards the 11.5K. That's what I personally expect, but that's my personal opinion, and my personal opinion doesn't matter at all, because you should be trading on technical analysis and not on personal opinion. If you would be trading on personal opinion, I think you would be going broke very, very quickly already. So, but that's basically the master plan, or the things that we have to be looking and be very careful about. So time is of the very essence right here for the bulls, because like I said, if that weekly bearish divergence is going to be working out next week, it's game over. I'll put on my bear pants and I'll be shorting the market. That's basically what I'm going to be doing. But like I said, I don't see it happening. And definitely if I see the traditional markets and Nasdaq going back above 10,000, you know, I can't be bearish. I cannot be bearish. And we can also see on all the moving averages that everything is going towards the upside, right? So let's take a look on the shorter term time frames. On the 4 hour, we can clearly see here stokes are curling towards the upside, as you can see, curling towards the upside. So short term might not get the pullback that we are expecting, right? Might not get the pullback that we are expecting. But like I said, here crossing up above the EMA. Like I said, we'll only cross down if it goes below 9,465. But yeah, like I said, I'm just waiting it out. But like I said, see, this bullish pennant looks like it wants to be breaking up, but it will confirm for me in a little while, and we'll figure it out. But I can't be bearish. I cannot be bearish right now until the week is over. Then I can be bearish. That's how fast I can switch. I feel like a cheap prostitute sometimes, that I can swing from one side to the other side. But I don't play sides, right? I don't play sides at all. I don't care if you're a bear or a bull. Just trade and make the money on the moves, rather than being being part of the group or something like that. But yeah, I guess that's basically what I have to say for today. I hope you enjoyed it. So a couple of main questions were answered. First of all, are the stocks overvalued? Well, according to the Brock value, they are definitely not overvalued. Actually, they are actually undervalued right now. So that's one thing. Is Bitcoin overvalued? Well, that is true. Overvalued, if we are looking on the on-chain mechanics statistics, it is overvalued. If we are looking on Metcalfe's law, which is basically user usage and user database as well, which is also overvalued as well. So that bodes more negativity for the Bitcoin market, but higher possibility for higher positivity for the stock market. So what are we looking for? Well, small pullback, if there is a small pullback. Not sure if there will be a small pullback towards the 9.350, 9.330-ish area, or this 0.5 pip, or this EMA 200, as you can see, purple line at 9,346 right now. Waiting for that to be for our pullback, hoping that we can get some sort of like a flag like this, so that we can get towards that price. But it doesn't look like it wants to make a flag. It looks more like a pennant, like I've drawn before. If we have a bullish pennant like this, it can break up anytime, and we are just going to go towards this area, this green box here. But eventually that is what I expect anyways. But for the bears, what areas are we looking at? Of course, breaking this area here, below our previous bottom here, below 9,250-ish. If we are closing some candles below 9,250, then I'll be reverting that into a short, because I'll be aiming back towards like, you know, 8,900 ish area, or our previous lows around here. And I would not be very bullish anymore at that point, because there's a potential that this whole structure where this is the most key number. If we break below that, then the whole structure is completely gone. Of the higher lows that we have been making for the past, how long have we been making higher lows? Since 29th of April, right? So we are now June, April, May, June. Yeah, 2 months. So for the past 2 months, we've been creating higher lows, and that structure is going to be broken if we break below 8,892. If that happens, for sure, 8,000, around 8,000, then maybe another bounce, and then eventually most likely towards 7.5k. So yeah, anyways, I guess that's the whole master plan. I think everybody is aware of what my master plan is. If you're not aware, please rewatch my video if I went over it a little bit too fast. But yeah, that's the master plan. There's a bullish plan, there's a bearish plan. Always make sure that you have both plans covered, and just wait it out right now. Just waiting it out right now to see what is going to be happening here. Do we break out of this channel? Yes or no? Do we get a fake out? You know, you never know. With Bitcoin, I would just wait it out here, but it's starting to look like it wants to be just breaking out of the pennant right now, and rather than a bull flag, a bull pennant. Maybe take a look on 1 second on the Hearst channels, if we can see something there. No, nothing in particular. Boom, boom. Nope, nothing on there. Oscillator, let's take a look on the oscillator. Oscillator is actually still low, as you can see, but it looks like it wants to be crossing back above the yellow line anytime now as well, right? So this is what I'm looking at. Either one more touch down towards there, 9.3k ish area, and then break up, or immediately from now breaking up. Yep, or breaking below this towards the bearish zone, and then it's game over for the bulls as well. So don't mistake me for being too bullish. The market is going to do what the market wants to do, right? But obviously I'm more bullish than bearish, because the probabilities are just higher towards the whatever is. All the indicators are just saying that the probabilities are higher towards the top side rather than the downside. So yeah, I guess that's everything I have to say. Yep, I guess that's everything that I have to say. Anyways, hope you enjoyed it, and hope to see you again tomorrow, same time, same place, YouTube live or Facebook live. Most of you people are on Facebook rather than on YouTube. So yeah, please do like, share, comment, ask questions, or whatever you want to do. And I hope to see you again tomorrow, same time, 7:30 p.m. UTC plus 8. And of course, as always, please